시청자 여러분, 안녕하십니까? 전 세계 교회와 선교지 소식 전해드리는 CGN 월드뉴스 정은지입니다. 첫 번째 소식, CBN에서 보내온 소식부터 전해드립니다. 2021년 군부 쿠데타 이후 미얀마 내전은 상황이 더욱 심각해지고 있습니다. 현지에서 구호 활동을 펼치는 프리버마 레인저스에 따르면 쿠데타 이후 350만 명이 넘는 주민들이 난민 신분으로 전락했으며 수천 명의 사망자가 발생했다고 합니다. 자세한 소식 전해드립니다. 프리버마 레인저스의 데이비드 유뱅크는 내전이 2차 세계대전에 버금가는 대규모 전쟁으로 확대되었으며 민간인 피해가 급증하고 있다고 말했습니다.
Much more intense. Since the coup of 2021, there's been over 3.5 million people displaced, thousands killed. We've lost 67 of our Ranger volunteers killed, 37 just in the last few years, over 200 wounded. I just finished one mission in there, and it's tragic. Just today, there were multiple airstrikes killing families. So it's worse than we've ever seen it, and worse than since World War II. It's the biggest fighting. There's tens of millions displaced before even this coup, but since the coup, 3.5 million. In the middle of that, people haven't given up. And you ask, is there progress? Yes, even though they don't have outside support, the pro-democracy groups now control 2/3 of the country. Now, that's the countryside, not the big cities, but they control 2/3 of the countryside for the first time ever. And for us, we baptized 21 of our new Rangers just last month. And so that's a miracle. Well, the last 2 months, and January and February. So people are coming to the Lord because, as you know, as sort of I know, without Jesus, we got nothing.
프리버마 레인저스는 전쟁 지역에서 발생한 부상자를 구조하고 치료합니다.
What we do is we go out in the field, that's in the jungle usually, although some of the fight is now in cities. We have 3 stages of care. The first is picking up right at the front line, and we have a lot of guys wounded doing that or killed. Bring the guy back in a stretcher. I say this because it's a bamboo pole with a hammock underneath, very efficient. Back to the casualty collection point, more advanced medics, stop the bleeding, open the airways, whatever they got to do, help the guy, stabilize the guy, and then move him by foot. Sometimes that takes a couple days. Or if you're in a town, you get in a vehicle and drive back to a surgical team, which is some other volunteers who are real surgeons and taking more intervention and, finishing the amputation, opening the guy's chest up. This was just a couple weeks ago. So we go back and forth. There's a battle over here. We run and give medical care in Jesus' name. And the other thing I forgot to say is we're praying all the time for our patients, for each other, for Jesus' help. And then it'll be a good life club because all these people who fled these towns or villages or cities are hiding somewhere in the jungle. They're getting bombed. There were just airstrikes I mentioned just yesterday against families. And so what we do is we go there, gather all the kids. Sometimes you got to hide in trees if planes come over. Or if there's a village that hasn't been bombed, maybe the school's safe and could do it in there. But anyways, get everybody together. We share the love of Jesus. We talk about the good news of who God sent his son to be with us, no matter what's happening. Versus, Psalm 100 verse 18, verse 8 and 9. Don't put your trust in governments or princes, in God only. And then we play games, we sing songs, and you can see the atmosphere. Next thing you know, people have forgot the wars. Every time the kid will come up to us or mom will go, I forgot we're in a war for one day. Thank you for giving me hope. And we hand out clothes, we hand out food, and that's called the Good Life Club. And it's from John 10:10, where Jesus says, the thief comes to steal and destroy, but I come to give life and life abundantly.
한편 도널드 트럼프 미국 행정부가 USAID 프로그램을 중단하면서 미얀마와 같은 나라들은 우려를 표하고 있습니다.
Well, the USAID aid that was in Burma that actually made it to the ground was very important. We have never gotten any government funding. We take it, but we never got any. But I saw how it was used in Burma and very effective. Vaccine programs and public health, feeding IDPs, people who are internally displaced, helping run sanitation programs, helping dig trenches to save people from airstrikes. And I remember just when the coup started in 2021, it was a USAID official in Rangoon, where the embassy is, coordinating with me and others to help people that the dictator's trying to kill escape. And so for me, I'm very grateful for the help that USAID was able to give to the people in Burma. I think some of the impetus of these cuts or stops are good for more transparency, more efficiency, less waste, more money making it from congressional allocations actually into Burma. I agree with all of that. But I really want to encourage our government. The aid that was being sent into Burma was effective. It was not wasted. It wasn't on any political agenda. It was saving lives. And so I hope it continues. Well, it's finally love, isn't it? When we're in trouble and someone comes and helps us, no one forgets that. We've helped Burma soldiers that looked me in the eye and said, I'll never hurt you. In Iraq, even against ISIS, most of these ISIS guys are actually completely fanatical. They would fight you to the death, but not all. And I remember helping some that were wounded, and they said, we wouldn't have done this for you. Why are you doing it for us? Because of Jesus. It's your only chance too, man. And I've had it later on meet some of these people that defend us because we're their friends. So when the U.S. helps, first of all, God is our greatest rewarder. God tells us to help those in need as with whatever you have. It could be, some loaves and a fish. It could be just whatever you got. It makes a difference. And it makes people's heart. It wins friends and it puts us with God. That's the best combination, friends and God. And then your enemies also will respect. They may not like you, but they respect that. And it's a great witness to them. It also shows that you care enough to put your money to help those in need. And I think it builds friendship. And friendship, real friendship, then doesn't require much money. People, when they know you care about them, they care about you. And so I just think it's important. And America has been blessed by God so much. We can share what we have.
현장에서 구조 활동을 벌이고 있는 데이비드 유뱅크는 미국이 중단한 USAID 프로그램이 실질적으로 미얀마의 생명 구조에 기여했다고 강조하며 버마를 위한 지원이 계속되기를 바란다고 말했습니다.